Tell you, the Never Trumpers, the media, the liberals, they are having meltdowns like I've never seen before. And it's fun to watch, but we got a lot of things to cover on the program. Here we go.
1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, yes. Welcome to the program, one and all, 5 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating, of course, 47 years on the radio this year. All right, we've got quite a bit to cover today. What's going on with the Democrats and the Never Trumpers on so many levels is beyond insane. I'm here to tell you. I mean, it is far beyond insane. And President Trump made an announcement a couple of days ago that I thought was pretty cool. And I may have mentioned it here on the show. I did show it on my YouTube live stream over the last couple of days. But I didn't think it was going to be something that caused the type of meltdowns that we're seeing. And what I'm talking about is this Trump Bible thing that's going on. And just a background about it, Lee Greenwood has this Make America Pray Again Bible out. I'm proud to be an American Bible. And it's just a Bible. It's just a Bible. Now, the Bible does have in it, some of our founding documents and things are in there, but it's just a nice collectible Bible, and Christians buy these things all the time. I've got so many Bibles in my house, so many different versions and specialties. I've got I can't tell you how many Bibles my wife and I have, and you can't throw Bibles away. So when we get a new Bible, we keep all the old ones. And it's just, my most recent Bible, I have a Charles Stanley study Bible. And you buy them. People sell them and you buy them. I have a whole bunch of other Bibles too. And all of a sudden, Lee Greenwood has this Bible, and Donald Trump makes a video promoting it. And the left, it took them about a day or so, but they're freaking out. And, I'm going to play some of the audio of President Trump introducing the Bible in a little bit, and I'll play some of the outrage from the left. And I'll tell you, I got up this morning, I did all my show prep, and my show prep is pretty extensive in the mornings, and it takes a few hours. That's why I get up so early. And when I do that, because of the YouTube live stream, I have to come up with, what the lead is going to be on the show. And I got to, because I got to set up the YouTube live stream in advance of the show, so I got to decide what am I going to start with, and that's usually whatever I consider the lead, what I'm going to start the program with, is what will be the YouTube video title and thumbnail. And I did all that, and then I said, well, let me take a look at the latest of what's going on in the news, which I often do because I had some extra time on my hands. And I saw Alex Wagner, who was fired by MSNBC years ago, and they've brought her back. And she was going off on this Trump Bible. And then I said, this is just weird and nuts. I mean, who's got to... this is what happens when you've got Trump derangement syndrome. When you hate someone so much, everything they do is evil, is bad, is wrong. And then I went on X, Twitter, and I just typed in Trump Bible, and just endless liberal people and news anchors on CNN and MSNBC just having just very strange attacks and bizarre viewpoints on offering a Bible. And, you got to do when I play some of this, which I'm going to do after the first break, there's this thing that Steve and I do. We don't do it as much as we used to. We used to do this a lot, the shoe on the other foot test. Every time you hear Bible or Christian, plug in your mind Quran in Islam, or, that's, and ask yourself, would they be doing this in that instance? Or Judaism and Torah, take Christian out, take Bible out, and plug in something else, and it more obvious to liberals what it is. Then it's religious bigotry. And, President Trump is saying, make America pray again. Look at what is going on in this country. We have the most, and I know every time there's a president, whoever he is, half the country hate him, half the country love him. Joe Biden is the most corrupt man to ever be president of the United States. Certainly within the lifetime of anyone who's alive today, but probably ever. And he's certainly the sleaziest. Look at his kids. Look at his wife. Look at his brother, right? I mean, if you want to, you look at the people around him. There's scum. And I don't mean just corrupt criminals. I mean his son's filming pornos with Ukrainian and Russian hookers and uploading them to, porn sites, public porn sites, and then sending his dad the links. Both of his kids are junkies, and his brother's being investigated for something new, which we're going to get into maybe in a little bit. These are really bad, evil people that are running this country. They really are. And I know we've had bad people, and Bill Clinton was a sleaze, and Jimmy Carter was incompetent, all that. We've never had someone that was so sinfully evil and as corrupt of a public official as this before. This never happened. And, Joe Biden, he's gotten away with this his entire public life. He's been in Washington since Nixon was president, and he's always been this way. So he feels invincible. And when this is going to become most apparent is when Joe is no longer in office. Eventually, Hunter's going to end up in jail and do a long stretch. He's protected now. He's American royalty. Hunter Biden is like Saddam Hussein's sons. Remember Saddam Hussein's sons? I mean, they were just vicious people. But their dad was Saddam Hussein, and he was the dictator of Iraq, and they had protection until he wasn't. And when Joe's no longer in power, Hunter doesn't understand. He thinks that he could just go through life stealing and, scaring hookers. Remember that one Russian or Ukrainian prostitute? The pimp came over. She was terrified. He's like, I did not hurt you. Remember, I did not hurt you, right? I didn't ask you to do anything. Remember that from the laptop? And when his dad's no longer in power, he's still going to carry on this way because he doesn't know another way. So these are just evil, evil people that are running this country today. Evil. And you look at these other problems we're having, like with all this gender stuff and all this weirdness that's going on. There's a long list of things. I don't need to go through it. You guys know. It seems to me that what's really missing from this country is moral Christian leadership and prayer and the Bible. And when I see the left have the meltdowns that they're having over this Lee Greenwood Bible that Trump is promoting, it's very revealing. It really, truly is. So after the break, I'm going to play a little bit of Trump talking about the Bible, and then I'll play some of the liberal meltdowns about it. All right? And your calls are certainly welcome. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. It's Thursday, March 28th, 14 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll take our first break and be back. I was really surprised to see how much outrage there was over the Bible thing. I really was. There's Trump. We know they hate Trump. That's a given. But this is really out of character. No, that's not true, Ronnie. They moved out of that warehouse like a year ago. That's not their warehouse. They moved out of that into another warehouse a year ago, maybe even longer. Evil don't like the Bible. That's right. That is for sure. Well, thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, what's missing from this country more than the Bible? I mean, in the media reaction to it, the left's reaction is just, it's bigotry. They're like vampires. You know, you put a cross up in front of a vampire, you know what happens. That's how these leftists are. Okay. Gosh darn it. There we go. I was downloading an app on my laptop and I can't get the stuff running. I got to reboot. I hate when I have to reboot. Well, all right.
God bless the USA.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? This is Richie, Dr. I do 139 miles to the sky. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put pictures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else.
All right. Got it all set up now. Make sure you all like the video, guys. Okay. All right, here we go.
Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM and anywhere in the world that true.
All right, and I just checked just now as the rejoin was playing. Free shipping is still in effect at mypillow.com. So go there and check it out. Free shipping with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All right, and that is free shipping site-wide, no matter what you order, no matter how large, no matter how small, no matter how light, no matter how heavy. It is free shipping site-wide at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. I'm just looking right now. That is absolutely amazing. So make sure you use our promo code Kane at checkout. And I do want to say there's a story that Mike Lindell, and I'm sure some of you have seen it, most of you probably have not, but I want to share that Mike Lindell's being evicted from his warehouse. That is not true. Mike Lindell and MyPillow moved out of that place like a year or so ago into a new facility. I don't remember exactly when, but I remember when they moved into the new facility. So they're not in that facility anymore, and they have not been for at least a year, if not longer. So all they have Trump derangement syndrome. They have Mike Lindell derangement syndrome. Okay, so that story is false. Okay, Oh my goodness! I know it's so bizarre that you got to. This is what it's like to be MAGA in America with these tyrants. Okay, so Lee Greenwood, like many, has this Bible out, and liberals may not be aware of this. It's Holy Week, right? It's Holy Week, and we got Easter coming up. That's why the kids are out for spring break. It's Holy Week, and it's not unusual for people to sell Bibles. Bibles are bought. I know the Gideons and some others may give Bibles, and maybe you have a Bible someone gave you or some organization, but people do sell Bibles, and Bibles are not cheap. They cost money. And Lee Greenwood, I saw Lee Greenwood a couple weeks ago online talking about his Bible, and it's a collectible Bible. It looks like it has a leather cover on it. It's very nice. And then, I guess it was, well, today's Thursday. It must have been Monday. It was either Monday or Tuesday. President Trump did a video, posted it online, that, he's endorsing this Bible, and he put out this video. So let me play this. This is President Trump talking about this Lee Greenwood, God Bless the USA Bible.
I'm proud to be partnering with my very good friend Lee Greenwood. Who doesn't love his song, God Bless the USA, in connection with promoting the God Bless the USA Bible. This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our Founding Father documents, yes, the Constitution, which I'm fighting for every single day, very hard, to keep Americans protected. Also the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh my goodness. I wonder what their biggest issue is. Is it that it's the Bible, the Word of God, or that it also has, the Constitution and the Pledge of Allegiance in it?
We're all part of this God Bless the USA Bible, and it's just very important and very important to me. I want to have a lot of people have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul. Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened to lose those rights.
Yeah, and I think that's true. Liberals believe all kinds of things that just aren't true. Constitutional right to an abortion, separation of church and state, these liberal urban legends, they don't teach the Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, okay? Like they used to. And, maybe when I was in school, it was, when I was in kindergarten, we had the bicentennial in 1976. So maybe it was the era I went to, it was Cold War, we had the bicentennial, and there was a big wave. But I used to have, and I bet some of you guys had this, remember pencil boxes? I don't think kids have pencil boxes anymore, and if they do, they're made out of plastic, look like Tupperware, but we used to have these pencil boxes, and I know a lot of you guys that are my age had these pencil boxes, and they were themed, like a Trapper Keeper or the old school lunch boxes, and they would have things on them. And I remember having pencil boxes that had the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, the Pledge of Allegiance on it. It was very American on the outside. And then when you open up the pencil box, on the inside cover, it would have things on it. You guys remember those? And it had our Pledge of Allegiance and everything. And that was, that was part of being in school. And they don't teach that crap anymore. They teach critical race theory and transgender ideology, and a lot of these teachers, you've seen them on TikTok, on LeeZep TikTok, they don't even do the pledge in their class, or when the pledge is happening, if it's over the intercom, they find ways to distract the students, and we have a generation that do not understand what our liberties are because they've been raised in a socialist education system and just don't know. Yeah, a pencil box is like an old cigar box, but they were actually made. You'd go to the store and buy pencil boxes for kids. It was part of school supplies. Anyway, back to President Trump in the Lee Greenwood Bible.
The liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened to lose those rights. It's happening all the time. It's a very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around. Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country. And I truly believe that we need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's one of the biggest problems we have. That's why our country is going haywire. We've lost religion in our country. All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book. This Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America and to make America great again is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, just like our country is going to come back strong. In the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven.
Yeah, and if you remember, there was something just a couple weeks ago. I can't remember now exactly. We talked. The news cycle moves so fast; it's hard to remember. But remember, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about this. The mainstream media were saying that they were taking issue with Trump. Of course, Trump actually believes that our rights are given to us by God and not men and people. Well, that's true. That's true. Our founding documents say we're given these rights by God, because if people give you these rights, people can take them away, right? That was the idea of the founding fathers. So there's really not only a lack of education on the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the history of our country. There's miseducation about it, right? Brainwashing and making people think, and kids think other things.
Are under siege. We must protect content that is pro-God. We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God. We must defend God in the public square and not allow the media or the left-wing groups to silence, censor, or discriminate against us. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives.
Now, hear that? Now, this is amazing. We have to bring Christianity back, President Trump said. That is very unusual for someone in his position. All the other presidents, they talk about God in a generic way, so it applies to everybody, right? You don't hear presidents very often say, we're a Christian nation, we need Christianity, we need the Bible back. They say God in a generic way. This is really amazing.
To what will be again a great nation. Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that foundation is under attack, perhaps as never before. What can we do? Stand up, speak out, and pray that God will bless America again. I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again. Pray, get educated, get motivated, and stand with me and the legions of Americans asking God to bless our great nation, to bring our great nation back, and to make America great again. I'm proud to partner with Lee in this offering. He's a very special man, both as a talent, but maybe even more so as a human being. He's very, very special. And I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible now and help spread our Christian values with others. There you have it. Let's make America pray again. God bless you, and God bless the USA.
Now, who could be against that? Right? Well, I'll tell you who. The left, the liberals, the media. And when we get back, I'll share some of what they've been saying. But this is really an amazing thing, and it's exactly what this country needs and what this country has been lacking for too long. That's why we're in this pit of disgust that this country is in right now. Now, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour, and when we get back, I'll play some of the liberal reaction that got me to talk about this today, because I had no intention. I did all my show prep, and this wasn't even on my list, because I talked about this on YouTube a couple days ago, and I was not going to revisit this. And then I saw the left-wing meltdown over that nice little plug that President Trump gave for this Bible, and I was like blown away. I couldn't believe it. So we'll take our break and be back with that.
Making morning radio great again.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Just bizarre. You'd have to be evil to be against that. I mean, it just makes no sense. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is our bottom of the hour break. Let's see.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted
your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at eaglemotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. That's traffic. I'm Dory Don.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come celebrate Easter in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with their extravagant Easter brunch buffet and on-track family fun fair. Enjoy a delicious buffet with your family. Get your picture taken with Ace the Easter Bunny. And on track, we have a petting zoo, face painting, cornhole, and gym mining. And don't forget, this weekend, come out, watch, wager, and win on the Florida Derby and Arkansas Derby, two big prep races for the Kentucky Derby. Make your reservations. Call 561-683-2222, extension 199. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
All right, just getting set up for the next segment on this. I'm going to get into earlier something. What I was going to start with earlier. I'm going to get into. How can I get into something earlier unless I got a time machine, right? I'm going to get into something later. There was a massive, news story about Stormy Daniels that I'm going to get to in just a little bit. Now, I'll get to that too, Scarlett. We got a lot to cover.
For years now, Donald Trump has insisted his favorite book is the Bible. But for years now, he has also been seemingly
What one or two of your think about or cite life, sir?
Well, I think many. I mean, you know, when we get into the Bible, I think many, so many.
Old Testament guy or New Testament?
Probably equal.
Okay. We'll be back shortly, guys. Yeah, I've been getting some really bad reports about Newsmax. I don't watch cable news unless there's like breaking news, something going on. I'll turn it on, but I really don't watch. You know, like these things I play are things I see online, YouTube, Twitter, something like that, or a news article will cite it. All right, we'll be back right after this, the last commercial. Well, you know, when it gets into be that kind of money, they get more people involved, news, you know. But they have the two greatest people over there. Rob Schmidt and Greg Kelly. They're awesome.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, welcome back. All right, so this is my recap on Brian Steve Kane Show here. Okay, so like 2 days ago, Trump just put this video out. I played the audio before the break, promoting the Lee Greenwood Bible. It is Holy Week. Easter Sunday is Sunday, right? I mean, this actually, for those of you that aren't Christians, this week is a bigger holiday than Christmas. I know people think it's all about Christmas. No, it's Easter, you know. This is the biggest Christian holiday period of the year. Many parts of the world are shut down because of this. Okay, so Trump in the Bible, not only is it something we need, the timing is perfect for it as well. So this morning, there's a story that I'm going to get to later that I thought was going to be my lead today. There is a huge story that dropped about Stormy Daniels that explains like the whole thing in a way that I'm amazed by, and because I've been wondering, how did this happen? What is this about? Who is behind it? And there was a major story with a whistleblower about it. I'm going to get to that later. And when I did all my show prep today, the Stormy Daniels story, which is huge, was going to be my lead story. I even made I put my YouTube video up, for the show at 6. I did this at 3 or 4 in the morning, and it was Stormy Daniels and everything else. And I put it up there, and it was up there. And then I was done with my show prep, and I said, well, let me go see what was on, the fake news media last night. And I saw CNN and MSNBC just flipping out over this Trump Bible story with Lee Greenwood. And the first one I saw is what I'm going to play for you now. Alex Wagner, who was fired by MSNBC years ago. They've hired her back. And, one of her parents, I remember when she was on MSNBC before, Alex Wagner, who's a woman, Alexandria, I'm assuming. One of her parents is an out-of-the-closet socialist. So she was raised in a socialist household. And socialist communists, they don't like the Bible because it gets in the way of their communist ideology, right? The religion of communism, of socialism, is atheism. And I saw her, and I was like, this is just sick. Giving a guy a hard time about his Bible is very weird. And then I found out that they're all doing this. They're like they were with Ronna McDaniel. So let me play this. This first is Alex Wagner talking about the Trump Bible, Lee Greenwood thing. And she played a montage of President Trump being interviewed about the Bible, then this.
Slip him a sheet of paper with something like, John 3:16 on it, so Trump could at least pretend to know something about the Bible. But no. And that reality is part of what makes Trump's latest grift so amazing.
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. We must protect content that is pro-God. We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives and back into what will be again a great nation.
Exactly.
To endorse and encourage you to get this Bible, we must make America pray again. I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible Now and help spread our Christian values with others.
Now, Donald Trump hawking Bibles while actually never having opened one himself is ironic.
Really? It's a grift, he's hawking, and she says he's never opened one up? How does she know that?
It is also not out of character. I mean, this is the man who's selling basketball shoes right now, and I'm not even sure his three-pointer exists. The reason Trump is Bible peddling is interesting isn't because of the hypocrisy. The reason Trump and his Bible sales are interesting is because of the fine print here. This is the frequently asked questions page for this new Trump Bible. If you were wondering, this is the only Bible endorsed by Donald Trump, which may be alarming news. I don't know. But the thing that actually matters here is the very last question on this list. Is any of the money from this Bible going to the Donald J. Trump campaign for president?
Oh, my goodness. So what if it is? Lee Greenwood, whenever you are watching a Trump speech or you go to a Trump rally, Trump's coming out when Lee Greenwood's great song, I'm Proud to Be an American, starts playing. That's Trump. That's become Trump's theme. Okay? And Lee Greenwood has done Trump this great favor of allowing him to open every event with his great signature song. They're friends. And Lee Greenwood has done a solid for President Trump, so President Trump is helping him by endorsing this Bible that he's offering that has in it our founding documents. It's not surprising she grew up in an atheist home. Now, this is CNN. Listen to this. CNN.
All right, now there's this, which is really the one that everyone at this table is talking about this morning. Former president turned Bible salesman?
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again.
Make America pray again. After launching sneaker and cologne lines last month, the former president, okay, so he's selling, get this, the God Bless the USA Bible. That's in partnership with country singer Lee Greenwood. He takes the stage to Greenwood's music. It's only $59.99, and just for that, you get a copy of the Constitution, a copy of the Bill of Rights, a copy of the Pledge of Allegiance, and the Declaration of Independence.
Everything that they hate, right? The Bible and our founding documents.
As well as the Bible, I guess. Just a reminder, this is the man who once said this.
2 Corinthians 3:17. That's the whole ballgame.
Oh, remember that? Yeah, now the 2 Corinthians. Now, this is an interesting thing. I was in Mass one day, and the priest said it. I heard my priest say it. By the way, before this. And I remember them, it's 2 Corinthians. It is, but it could also be 2 Corinthians. You can say it either way.
Where the Spirit of the Lord, right? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty.
Jonah, can you please remind me what is 2 Corinthians?
Oh, my goodness.
Actually, my favorite example of this, when he was asked what his favorite Bible verse was, he was like, well, first of all, there's so many. I couldn't pick just one.
So many
and then he settled on an eye for an eye.
I mean, these, the religious bigotry, see, they don't understand this. This is a Christian country. Okay, I know we're supposed to say Judeo-Christian. This is a Christian country, and they're already losing by just mountains of numbers against them. I mean, the American people are totally against everything they represent. But this is a Christian country, and when you see the way that they're behaving with this, it gives you an indication of how they feel about us yet again. This is The Daily Show talking about it. Let me cue this up on The Daily Show. This is The Daily Show. They brought Jon Stewart back, although this isn't Jon Stewart, talking about the Lee Greenwood Bible and Trump.
Trump is mashing together the Bible and the Constitution like it's a Pizza Hut Taco Bell. And I know people will say that you're not supposed to mix the Bible and the Constitution. But what you have to understand...
Who says that?
...has never read either of them.
Oh, my goodness. That's their big thing. He doesn't read. This is Mika Brzezinski.
To be a new level of culty. It also...
Now remember, guys, it's Holy Week. Easter is approaching. Okay? Okay? So during Easter week, these kind of things are quite common. And, oh, by the way, Mika here is with that real creep, Charlie Sykes.
To me, to be a new level of culty. It also, if you listen to his comments, it's painful, but I did. He blames America for everything he's done to it, especially culty. What can be said, Charlie, to a person who hears that, gets out their credit card, and purchases a...
Oh, all of a sudden, Mika Brzezinski is against money. You know, Mika Brzezinski and her scummy husband live in a massive mansion in Jupiter. And they do their show from their mansion in Jupiter. They have a backdrop with Washington behind them, like buildings in D.C. That's fake. They're in Jupiter. She lives in a massive mansion in one of the most exclusive, wealthy... That's why I make a big deal about Jupiter Joe Thomas, right, being in Jupiter. She is in one of the most exclusive areas of Florida. Remember, that's where Nancy Pelosi was thinking about moving when she was going to move to Florida so she didn't have state income tax. Jupiter. I love how this woman, who is born into it, by the way, worth millions and millions many times over, with her scummy millionaire husband too, all of a sudden she's against money.
God bless the USA Bible.
Well, the first thing you'd say is, "Oh my God!" I mean,
the first thing you would do is take the Lord's name in vain. That's brilliant, Charlie Sykes. What a beauty! These people are sick.
only culty, it is grifty, it is so much on brand for Donald Trump. I mean, obviously he's playing on the themes of, that I am the defender of Christianity, encouraging the Christian nationalists out there. But I think the thing that you can't take your eyes off of is that he's commodifying the Bible during Holy Week, that he's selling it for $60, and this money might.
Well, how much does a leather-bound Bible cost? That's a family heirloom. I know I've got the this one Bible that oh boy, I can't remember the name of the guy. There's a priest who looks like a male model that does this Bible in a Year podcast. He's very well known, and they've got it's with he's Catholic, and they got a Bible. And I know I paid $50 or $60 for that Bible, and I bought two of them, one for my wife and one for me. The Charles Stanley study Bibles we got had to be $50 too. That's how much Bibles cost. These people don't even know how much Bibles cost because they don't even have them, right? And this one's leather bound. This is normal. One more here. I know we're late for the break, but I want to finish off with this. This is Mika Brzezinski again. She has Amy Klobuchar in studio about the Trump Bible.
I just keep going back to the 10 Commandments and, those commandments about keeping the Sabbath holy as we approach.
And there's nothing, by the way, Mike Schmidt, that's the priest that looks like a male model, what I'm talking about? Yeah, his Bible, that was like $50. It had to be $50. So they're criticizing President Trump for promoting Christianity during Holy Week. Holy Week, Easter, is what makes Christianity with Jesus rising. I don't know how promoting Christianity during Holy Week is against Christianity. I guess these abortion supporters in the Democrat, party, they know.
Keep going back to the 10 Commandments and, those commandments about keeping the Sabbath holy as we approach the Easter weekend, the commandments about not using the Lord's name in vain.
Well, that just happened with Mika Brzezinski with Charlie Sykes right before this interview. So Mika Brzezinski broke the 10 Commandments with Charlie Sykes right before she had her on. I guess she wasn't listening in the earpiece. And what about that commandment, thou shalt not kill, when Amy Klobuchar here and these Democrats, they advocate for abortions?
And here you have someone who is literally taking a holy book and selling it and putting it out there in order.
How else do people get Bibles? How many of you have Bibles that somebody paid for? By the way, all Bibles have been paid for by someone. Selling Bible? I mean, have you ever been to a bookstore or a Christian bookstore or even a church with a bookstore? Most of the Bibles you have are Bibles you bought. People sell them. All of a sudden, these people don't even know that Bibles are for sale. That's how atheist they are. They don't even know. What do they think? That Bibles are just laying all over the place and you just take them?
For his campaign. Can he legally do it? I assume that he can. But usually candidates are selling things like T-shirts, or in the case of my presidential campaign, we had Amy earrings. Okay, these are things to allow supporters.
Yes, some of these Democrats were giving out, coat hangers. Remember that?
Some fun and show they support the candidate. He's going this way, and I think the way that he has degraded people with disabilities, I still won't.
And back to these lies. He made fun of a guy. Turned out the guy had a disability, but that doesn't mean he was making fun of the disability. Oh, my goodness. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. Your thoughts on this, I certainly are welcome. I am going to get into this Bombshell thing with Stormy Daniels, which is really amazing. And there's a lot of other things to cover as well. But I do want to hear your thoughts on, one, the Lee Greenwood Bible that President Trump is promoting. I don't believe this is for the campaign at all, by the way. I think that's just something they've all made up. And your thoughts on the reaction of the left to the Lee Greenwood Bible that President Trump is, of course, promoting and asking people to purchase. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth.
Unreal.
Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
I mean, these people are really twisted.
To be black and also allow you, Mayor Scott, if you choose to do.
Okay. Okay. All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You know, those of you that are going on our cruise, you know, we're a month away from the cruise, and April 27th, Celebrity Beyond, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, and this is our longest cruise yet. It's 8 days, actually, 8 days. We leave on a Saturday, return on Sunday, but you know, you wake up Sunday morning, you're back home in Fort Lauderdale. I am usually home before most of you will get off the ship. I'm up early, and it's kind of cool because if you get up early, you can go out on your balcony and watch the ship dock. It's pretty cool. And then I'm out. I'm off the ship. As soon as they give us the go-ahead, I'm first off the boat. But those of you that are going on our cruise, call, if you've not already booked your excursions, call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot and do that. These excursions we have are out of this world, and they're private to our group, and you want to book on these. You don't want to miss them. It's going to be a great time. We got a great group, and the cruise has been sold out for quite some time, but that doesn't mean if you're not booked, you shouldn't call Ian, because, you know, sometimes things come up and people have to reschedule or cancel, you know, things happen. So there is a waiting list, and if you call him and something opens up, he'll give you a call. But if you're already booked and you've not already booked your excursions, call Ian and do it today, guys, because we're getting close. 561-244-5779. And, you know, on these cruises, I go on all these excursions. I spend the whole week with you guys. I really become kind of like a cruise director. I'm like, you know, the cruise director on the Love Boat. I'm like a cruise director for an entire week hosting you guys, and you'll have a great time. 561-244-5779. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hey, Sandra. What's up?
To call in. I'm completely speechless, but not surprised, but speechless. How dare they mock him in the way that they do? How dare they not encourage? They just don't have anything good to say. They're miserable.
Yeah, and it's religious bigotry, too. It's hardcore religious bigotry.
Every Bible I have, I bought with my money.
Yeah.
Every piece of jewelry I have that's a crucifix or whatever it may be, I bought with money. And he's the only one. Have you ever heard any political candidate talk about, yes, this country needs to go back to Christ, needs to go back to pray, needs to...
No, if they do it, they do it in a generic way, so it applies to Christianity, Judaism, Greek Orthodox, Muslim, sun worshipers. I've never heard a president, not in the modern era, okay, not since I've been around, maybe before, who was so specific about Christianity and Jesus.
That's what I'm trying to say. Very specific about Christianity, that the country should really make America pray again. What is with these people? I just don't understand. What's with these people?
They're sick. First off, a lot of it's Trump derangement, but the other thing is they're atheist. They are. I talk about this a lot. I am a very religious Christian, much more than you guys realize. And I don't talk about it a lot on the radio for two reasons. One, I tell you guys this: I don't read my Bible like I should. And so I'm not versed in chapter and verse like people that would do such things are. You know what I mean? So I'm not equipped with quoting Bible verses to do that. And also, I don't like to make a political issue out of Christianity and Jesus because it's very important and personal to me. And I don't like to get involved with Jesus with those kind of things. And maybe that's right or wrong. I don't know. But when I saw this outrage from this sick media laughing at Christianity and everything, it just I felt that I had to do it. And you can tell none of these they don't know that Bibles are, you buy Bibles. They think that they fall down from heaven, I guess.
No, and the thing that gets me is that they're doing it with glee.
Yeah.
With glee.
It's evil.
Enjoy it. They just enjoy it. And it's like, you know what? Nobody would even care about you people. You're just sitting there because you have a job and you're on a platform that you have the power to do it. Otherwise, nobody would care about what you're saying.
Yeah.
That they take advantage of their position is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
They have this position that they can sit there and make fun of him and do, but you know something? In the real world, they're very disconnected. They have no idea.
Well, they're in a bubble that feeds on itself, and they're out of touch with the American people, and that's a problem, for them. And that's why they're dying like newspapers. Listen, this is radio, and I mean we're hot as it gets, and radio's older than TV, okay? And radio is strong because we don't, all they do is they hate their audience. They hate their audience. They think they're better than their audience. They mock their audience. They laugh at their audience. And newspapers and television news are telling their audience to turn off turn them off.
Well, I don't know if this is a coincidence, but you remember I called in yesterday and I talked about that speech that he gave where somebody came up to him and said, "You're the most famous person in the world."
Mm-hmm.
You just about that yesterday.
Yeah.
He said, "Remember, I have a boss."
That's right.
He points to this guy. And I just talked to you about that yesterday. And then today, you put this on, and I'm just, blown away.
Yeah, and he's very religious, and I talk about this a lot. He was recommending a book when he was running the first time. It was a Christian book for business owners, for businessmen. Listen, I got to run. Coming up on the top. Thanks for the call. Big bombshell in the Stormy Daniels saga, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, and a whole bunch more. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the Oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're off to a great start. We're going to see some showers around.
Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe.
So impact weather as cold front pushes into some warmer air. 85 the high today, but it cools down really pretty quickly this afternoon. We're going down to about 60 tonight. I'm WPBF 25 first warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out to the poker room at PBKC with cash games, high-hand giveaways, mega bad beat jackpots, and big money tournaments. You can also play your favorite table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker with just $5 minimums 7 days a week. One of the most popular poker tournaments in South Florida returns April 4th through the 7th. It's the $100,000 Monster Multi-Flight. Go to pbkennelclub.com for more information.
Rampant conspiracies being hawked by the right about Tuesday's tragic bridge collapse in Baltimore. It has been a grab bag of right.
Okay.
Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box. And they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test apps around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now with Boca and Any Lab Test Now with Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now with Boca is in Central Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any Lab Test Now with Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Bramblewood, Coral Square Mall. Call Any Lab Test Now with Boca at 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now with Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. Don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
All right, here's the news. We'll be back after the news. All right, we'll be back in 8 seconds.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, indeed it is. Coming up on 5 minutes after the hour, it's Thursday, March 28th. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Okay, so what's going on in Baltimore continues. And there was, I think a lot of people, including me, were shocked when the mayor came out. The mayor, who's like, he's very young mayor, and he was dressed not like a mayor should dress, quite frankly. But, you know, I think people were taken aback about how young he was. And I looked him up yesterday during the show. We were talking about this mayor of Baltimore. This guy's never had a job. He graduated college, got a job with a city councilman. Never had a job. And this may be typical today. People don't, you know, like DeSantis has never had a job out of the government. He was in the military, but that was just a stepping stone to politics. But it may be the norm today to go to college, graduate, and get a job in government right away. But it never used to be that way, not for mayors and members of the House of Representatives. It used to be that, you know, a guy owned a car dealership, and then all of a sudden he'd be a mayor or a congressman, things like that, or own an insurance agency or own a department store. That's the way it used to be. And it's just not that way anymore. Look at Kevin McCarthy even. Kevin McCarthy, he was an aide to a congressman. Then he grew up and became this guy. You know, it's unusual. Most of the local politicians used to be like Trump. A businessman, and then they would go into politics. And now they breed and recruit these people, and right out of college, they get them working as an aide to someone. And then, I mean, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, out of college, she's been a congresswoman down here forever, but I remember her before. And she graduated college and was an aide to a Democrat congressman, Peter Deutsch. And then he was in state government. Then he got elected to the House of Representatives, and she took his state seat. Then they pushed him out of Congress. I don't know what happened to Peter Deutsch. Then she got the congressional seat. So this is the norm now, but it never used to be that way. And it's mostly the norm in Democrat circles, although like Kevin McCarthy, there are some Republicans like this. And that's bad news, because these people that have never had jobs, they just don't know how things work. I remember once... when we were doing our cable access TV show years ago, there was a friend of ours who was a cop with BSO. He was a deputy with Broward Sheriff's Office, and he was a friend of Steve's, friend of mine, and he used to come down and watch us film the TV show all the time. And one day he brought with him the guy that did all the video production for the Broward Sheriff's Office. Now, this was in the 90s. There was no YouTube. There was things weren't digital then. We were recording that show on VHS tapes. And I remember we rewound the tape, and this guy's like, oh, we got a machine. You put the tape in, you push a button, it rewinds it instantly. And the machine costs like $5,000 or $10,000. And I told him, I said, well, welcome to the private sector, man. You work for government. You have everything. I had a friend of mine that I worked with at a radio station in Miami. He did news on, there used to be a 24-hour news radio station in Miami, 940 WINS. I used to work there, 940 WINS, WINZ. Remember 940 WINS? I think I don't know, is it Spanish now? Is it sports now? But it was 24-hour news. And it was a big station. And this guy not only did the news, he did sports too. And this station was so big that some of the people that were doing news used to be anchors on Miami television news. It was a big deal. I was excited to work there. 940 WINS. I'm sure some of you remember that station. And this guy, he was doing play-by-play during the World Series when it was in Miami one year. And then he went and took a job working at National Public Radio in Miami. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And then he said, and then I couldn't believe it. It didn't make sense to me. And I went over and visited him one day. And I have never seen studios with such expensive equipment as they had at National Public Radio. Do not give your money to PBS or Public Radio. They have boatloads of it. Okay? Because it's government funded. They have everything. And these people that come from government, they just don't have an understanding of how the world works. And that's why cities like Baltimore that are run by Democrats are dumps. So Joy Reid, a lot of people are like, how can this kid be the mayor of Baltimore? What does he know? Graduated college, was an assistant to a city councilman, now he's the mayor? And so she went on this long thing. Let me play this. This is Joy Reid last night, who, by the way, hates white people. She is just a racist. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And she was wearing that Trump wig again last night. She's got this Trump wig she wears a lot.
Conspiracies being hawked by the right about Tuesday's tragic bridge collapse in Baltimore. It has been a grab bag of right-wing grievances, barely coded racism, and flat-out lies. Noted Jewish space lasers and QAnon conspiracist Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Now again, Marjorie Taylor Greene never said anything about Jewish space lasers. They make all that up.
Suggested the disaster was the result of an intentional attack, perhaps by the space lasers. But the most...
You see, she just made that whole thing up. And so far, how do we know it wasn't an attack? Has the investigation taken place yet? Should we not? Are we, as members of the media, are we not supposed to ask questions? Who, what, when, where, why, how?
And racist theories had to do with their newest boogeyman, diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. A Republican congressional candidate in Florida tweeted that DEI did this.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're hiring people not based on qualifications, but on these check marks, you get incompetent people.
Right-wing blue check account that's been boosted by Elon Musk in the past just blew straight past the dog whistling, tweeting to its 276,000 followers, quote, Baltimore's DEI mayor commenting on the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge. It's going to get so much worse. Prepare accordingly.
Yeah, and this mayor, he shows up. There's been a tragedy, a major disaster in his city. He shows up for a press conference dressed like Trayvon Martin. Okay? He couldn't go home first and grab a suit and tie.
Most included a clip of Baltimore's black mayor, Brandon Scott. I cannot believe I have to say this. Brandon Scott was elected with 70% of the vote in 2020 in a city that is 61% black. So by right-wing logic, a diversity hire would have been a white man, which of course, only the white Christian men may have the things. And at this point, it's evident what they mean by DEI, right? Okay, it means black people. It's the reason the right complained about critical race.
No, it does not mean that. What it means is incompetent people. See, they've turned this into a science now, this DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. They've turned it into a social science. Okay? What it means is people are elevated to positions not based on qualifications, but on all these check marks. And that's why you get incompetent people.
It's not fashionable to be openly racist anymore in America, unlike what they call the good old days. So referring to a black mayor as a DEI mayor gets the point across, right?
Okay. So then she brings on the mayor. Let me pull this up, and then they talk. Here's the and by the way, this hoodie has become like his trademark. So then you could say, well, you're too harsh on him. He's wearing. There was this tragedy, he sped over there, and he threw the hoodie on. Okay, I'll give him a break. Although Mayor Giuliani was wearing a suit on 9/11 at Ground Zero when he was saving lives on the front lines of war. But regardless of that, I'll give him that. So then he goes on Joy Reid's show wearing a hoodie again. This has become his trademark. Because people are commenting that he was improperly dressed as the mayor of a major city during such an event. So he's not going to let all these racist white boys tell him how to dress. He's going to wear the hoodie all the time now.
Allow you, Mayor Scott, if you choose to do so, to respond to the tomfoolery and attacks on you for having the nerve to be black and also a mayor.
Well, I think, listen, I know, and we all know, and you know very well, that black men and young black men in particular have been the boogeyman for those who are racist and think that only straight, wealthy white men should have a say in anything.
None of that is true. This guy's as much of a racist as she is. Conservatives don't believe that. What conservatives believe is that if you're mayor of a major city, you should be someone who has some experience in governing and managing and in doing something.
Been the boogeyman from them since the first day they brought us to this country. And
oh my goodness. Who is in this country that is not an immigrant, the last few years, that's here really by choice? I did something like this the other day. I live in Florida. I'm not originally from Florida. I didn't come here by choice. My parents moved to Florida. They brought me to Florida. So was I brought here? Was I brought here? Am I owed a debt because I came here against my will? I didn't really come against. I liked Florida. But I didn't do it by choice. So this guy, he thinks he's a slave. He thinks he's a slave that's been freed. And he thinks he was brought here.
Boogeyman from them since the first day they brought us to this country.
Oh my goodness.
DEI, in my opinion, is duly elected incumbent. We know what they want to say, but they don't have the courage to say the N-word. And the fact that I don't believe in their untruthful and wrong ideology, and I am very proud of my heritage and who I am and where I come from, scares them.
Okay, now this guy, I don't know where he comes from, but he says DEI, that's code word for the N-word. Well, let me tell you, no, it's code for incompetence. And when we have a tragedy like this where people have died, forgetting about the strategic problem with the port being shut down, forgetting about the problem whether or not this was a cyber attack from China or something, but the fact that there are people that are dead, there are children who have lost parents, there are spouses that have lost their husband or wife. And what's this guy concerned about? Me, and what did people say about me, and it's about me and where I come from. And they don't like me because of when they brought me here, I came from here, and I'm going to stay, and it's the N-word. He doesn't have one tear for the people of his constituents who are dead. He's concerned about him, and he's using this as an opportunity to elevate himself. This interview he's done here with Joy Reid is proof positive that this guy is incompetent and should not be the mayor of Baltimore. When you have a tragedy like this in your city where lives are lost, and you come on Joy Reid without any tears for them and, well, me and what they're saying about me, and they can't handle me, and I'm not going anywhere, and it's me and me. All right, Joy, what do you think about me and how they're treating me? This guy is sick. See, the problem with this, you see a similar personality trait that you see with Jean-Pierre. This DEI, it's arrogance, entitlement.
Me being in my position.
See, hear all the me's? Me being in my.
Their way of thinking, their way of life of being comfortable and suffering, and while everyone else suffers, is going to be at risk. And they should be afraid because that's my purpose.
Me again, my purpose, me and my. Boy, if this was my mayor, I would throw up.
And by the way, the coded racism, before we even knew...
Where's the compassion for the dead that are his constituents?
Nationalities of the men. Maria Bartiromo was out there talking about open borders and trying to somehow signal that they wanted to go after the brown people too, because of course that is their other target. We know that the men who were doing this hard construction work overnight, trying to fix the potholes on this bridge, working very hard, were Latino. And so that's now on the table too. We know that this ship, which came from Singapore, was piloted by a very heroic crew from India.
A heroic crew? People are dead. The crew's heroic? How do we know the crew wasn't in on it?
All saved lives, not maybe saved lives, but did. So this is a full-throated attack. But this is also what America is. It is people of multiple races who do the hard work to make America work and literally make it work.
Okay, yeah, what hard work does she do with that Trump wig on? I mean, this guy is really twisted. You want to talk... This is saying a lot. Because there's a lot of these people around. This mayor of Baltimore, he's the sickest narcissist that holds elected office in this country today. Because when you've got people that are constituents of his that are dead, and I didn't hear he say anything about them. All he said is me, my, Me, my, me, my, me, my, me, my. It's the N-word. Me, my, me, my. They brought me here. I can't control this. I'm not going to let them stop me from being me and me and me and me. This guy should be out. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Doing it again for True Oldies listeners. Call 833-283-5050 and Slogan will give you a free home security system. All right, I get it, Mr. DJ. We've heard you say it a million times on this radio station. We get it. Slogan's is the best in home security. It's privately owned and serving homeowners for the last 100 years. All right, what else comes with this special offer? I'm going to show you that I've heard you a million times. Slogan's will customize a system specifically for your home and include professional installation, an LED touchscreen pad, motion detector for interior protection, 10 contacts, backup battery in case of power failure. And you're ready for this? A lifetime warranty. So call Slogan's today at 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. Slogan's is a no-brainer. Call 833-283-5050.
I mean, I can't believe this guy. I just can't believe it. I'll give him a pass for the night of the tragedy, although I shouldn't. But for now, it's become his thing. They're not going to tell me what I'm going to wear. The clothing is an FU. That's an FU. It's all about him. Total narcissist. Was that you? Wow, it traveled down the hall. Yeah, Trump's selling Bibles, that guy's selling racism. That's good. Who said that? Brandon. Yes, yes.
Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96, and anywhere in the world.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. Call us on hold. Stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. You know, I made this announcement yesterday. This is huge. Friendly Tire in Margate. New tires. I'm talking about new tires. Not you. He has thousands of used tires in stock. Very good used tires at great prices. But right now, I'm talking about new tires. Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire has new tires as low as $65 a tire. Now remember, any price you get from Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire, that's out the door and on the road. Right? He doesn't charge you to balance the tire. He doesn't charge you to mount the tire, dispose of your old tire, nothing. So the price he gives you over the phone when you call, that's out the door and on the road. New tires as low as $65 a tire. That is so low. Give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. 954-977-9445. 977-9445. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I don't blame Joy Reid at all. I don't know where you're coming from, Brian. I blame NBC for hiring somebody like her, giving her a platform. That would be like, think about this, it would be like NBC hiring David Duke, who was a member of the Klan, who bashed black people on a regular.
Well, I don't know. I'm more concerned about this mayor, the hoodie mayor. Yeah.
To him, as his diversity hire that he was dragged over here, and basically it's in our face whether we like it or not. But then you got a guy like Clarence Thomas, okay, who they attack on a regular basis. These are the biggest hypocrites you ever want to see in your life. Here's a black man. I guess we sort of like him, don't we?
Mm.
They call him Uncle Tom because he's a normal human being, just like most of black people.
I mean, can you imagine? Think about this. Could you imagine if Mayor Giuliani was wearing a hoodie after 9/11? Giuliani was in a suit and tie at Ground Zero.
The guy that got as a senator, I mean, this is what they are. I mean, don't you see that this is what they are? I got to tell you, you look at President Trump. The question I got to ask you, I don't blame this mayor for what happened. Baltimore is a dump. It's very dangerous. Everyone knows it. But what I'm going to say, they had an opportunity to elect, I believe there was I don't know if she was running for senator or mayor, the young, pretty black lady.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. I know who you're talking. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But the deal is this: you have President Trump, and he's in construction. People might not like that he got when the COVID that he organized all those lines to get the shots in your arms quick. He did that. Who would you rather have as a president of the United States putting that bridge back together?
Yeah.
And organizing construction people who has.
I bet you a Trump bridge wouldn't crumble like toothpicks with one pylon knocked down. And the thing about this the reason I shared this with the mayor doesn't even have any sadness in his voice or tears in his eyes. No sympathy for his constituents that are dead.
He's another white guy. He hates.
Mm-hmm.
It just
when we were broad here, I mean, that was like hundreds of years ago. Give me a break.
It's in good hands with Joe Biden, President Biden, because President Biden. Did you hear that? I don't know if you made a think about it. He actually said he was on that bridge many times on the train.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no train on that bridge.
Yeah, I know.
What do you do? Fly?
He's a compulsive liar.
And I'm surprised he didn't bring up his son dying on the bridge.
Yeah.
The whole thing is really pathetic. Joy Reid should not have a platform on that station. NBC ought to be ashamed of itself. It's like putting David Duke on every night, trashing black people.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. There are tragedies that happen, and sometimes you see these mayors when there's I remember this train accident that Biden doesn't care about, where they poisoned the people in Ohio. The mayor was on television like in tears. And I've never seen a mayor after a disaster and death in their town come out and say, me, the white man, me. They come out and we need help and we want to help the families.
How do you turn a tragedy like this into anti-white? Like they bring up the crew that none of them are. In other words, the white people are happy that this happened because the crew was all diversified.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they got their DEI crew. They did a great job. The DEI crew.
They were fixing potholes. Who lives? So then you wake up every morning and think, I'm a black person. I hate white people. Who lives like this?
Yeah.
Like this. I never think of. I'm going to tell you, sir. I'm sorry to say this, folks. I never get up in the morning and say, thank God I'm white. I never even think about being white.
It's bizarre.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Poison.
There's an expression. There are poison people, And Joy Reid is one of those. And this mayor of Baltimore is, when these tragedies happen, you move beyond politics. And he is a poison, sick, twisted, soulless man, the mayor of Baltimore.
How do you change it? How do you turn a tragedy into racism? How do you do that? Pete Buttigieg trained. I got to say that.
Yeah, this guy will be running for Congress before you know it. The thing with this guy, if Joy Reid would have thrown that crap at him, and he'd say, "Hey, listen, Joy, there are families that have lost their husbands, there are children who have lost their dads, and I'm here to talk about this." But no. I mean, he was getting fired up. He was excited in his hoodie.
Yeah. Well, that's what they run on. They can't. These people cannot run on any policy.
They're running on hate Whitey. I hate to say that, but it's true.
Oh, President too. It's all about attacking Trump. Is it?
All right, I got to run, Richie. I'm late. Thanks for the call. Now, there was a big bombshell in the Stormy Daniels saga, which I'm going to get to right after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're off to a great start. We're going to see some showers around until about midday, on and off, kind of some spotty stuff. So impact weather as cold front pushes into some warmer air. 85 the high today, but it cools down really pretty quickly this afternoon, and we're going down to about 60 tonight. I'm WPBF 25 first warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Didn't earn it. That's a good one.
Patio Furniture, Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture, voted in the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
That's a fur crash.
Was my sneeze that loud? So was my sneeze that loud?
Yeah, it came down the hall. I could hear him. I thought there was somebody else here.
Oh, no.
Oh, you might got a new tattoo. You want to show your tattoo? Yeah. You might got a new tattoo. That's a big one. Yeah. There's a delay. No, that must have hurt like hell.
Oh, not bad until the
Yeah.
shading.
Oh, yeah.
The shading hurt. But
Yeah, the
everything else,
shading.
It feels like, honestly, just cats scratching.
Yeah, cat scratching. Oh my goodness.
For like less, but just multiple times.
See, I don't have any tattoos because I was telling Mike it's too permanent of a decision for me to make to get a tattoo. I have 0 tattoos.
Biggest party south of Churchill Downs, Kentucky Derby Fest, May 4th. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com. Sales event will be held at one location only.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. The City Kia 500 is back. Bigger and better than ever. Orlando 500. Save up to $8,000 on a new City Kia. Orlando 500. Last year, over 5,000 customers made the switch to City Kia, and you can too.
Lower your payment today.
Rates as low as 1.9%. New Kia Sportage from only $169 a month. Triple your tax return up to $5,000. Orlando 500. We always give you the best value. Rates and payments on select models, select terms. This sales event will be held at one location only. City Kia, Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Orlando 500. Visit us at citykia.com.
Brian Craig here. I've suffered with massive pain in my knee for years. But not anymore. It's all gone. Thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how's you doing? My treatment is
We'll be back shortly, guys. Hang in there.
And you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help with.
Any joint I can do, shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up through the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractor 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
Look up in the sky, on a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a hat. It's the Print Hero. The Print Hero team is made up of expert designers and printers, each with their own unique superpowers. Help your company look great. Stand out with your unique lifestyle. The Print Hero has you covered. Let your business soar with Print Hero. Display your logo, love, lifestyle, or whatever you want the world to see on a t-shirt, hoodie, or hat. Best prices and fast turnaround time. Print Hero, a company that goes above and beyond to deliver top quality products and services to their clients. Learn more at theprinthero.com. Up and away.
Are you living your best life? Are you feeling the way you know you should be? This is John, CFO at Lighthouse Medical Center. Our hormone optimization therapy programs have helped so many people get back to feeling the way they did in their 20s. They're full of energy after a long day, reduced their risk of heart disease, sexual vigor and excitement are great, sleeping the way they should without disturbances, and reducing their symptoms of aging. Our all-natural hormone optimization therapy is precise, easy, and effective from day one. Office visits are usually less than 5 times per year, and the cost is only $150 per month for most patients. Let our medical team get you optimized and living your best life. Our family medical practice has been serving South Florida for over 71 years. Let us show you what personalized medical care and being treated like family feels like. Call us at 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. Or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 4.
All righty. Call us on hold. Stand by. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE. 1-888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I know who that was. I'm not going to say. I heard. I could tell who that was I heard their voice and their breath. That's what it is. Well, now I want to get to this. You know, the Stormy Daniels case, it's so absurd. I mean, you know, everybody knows that Trump didn't have sex with Stormy Daniels. You know, they took a picture together? Celebrities, you know how many pictures I've taken with people? Listeners, people take pictures with me. I'll run into people out, they take pictures. Does that mean I had sex with them? Oh my gosh. I hope not. Oh my gosh, see some of the people I've taken pictures with, but Stormy Daniels, one, admitted that she made the story up a while back. She was the extortionist. You don't punish the victim in an extortion case, okay? I mean, this is just insane. By the way, the breath of that person that hung up, does anybody else recognize that voice? It's amazing how someone's voice can be recognized through their breath. I never really thought about it before, but I could with that person. Who do you think it was? I'm not going to tell you who I think it was, but who do you think it was? But I've always wondered, how did this happen? Because obviously Michael Cohen set Trump up with Stormy Daniels. How did this happen? And I really hadn't gotten the answers to that until now. And this is in the Gateway Pundit. It is being reported elsewhere. There's a gentleman by the name of Tony Saruga, okay? He's pretty popular on Twitter. He's former CIA, NSA. He was a contractor for both the NSA and the CIA, and he's got a new job title. It's called whistleblower. Listen to this. I'm going to read to you from the Gateway Pundit. Seguro dropped a bombshell that could blow up the entire Stormy Daniels affair with the Trump lie that they had an affair that the mainstream media and the Democrats are running with. Tony Saruga claims he used to share office space with Michael Avenatti, Stormy Daniels' old lawyer, who represented porn star Stormy Daniels in her case alleging Donald Trump paid her hush money to keep the alleged affair out of the public. Saruga's tweet begins with this. I spoke with Michael Avenatti, who at one time had an office in the same building as one of my businesses in Newport Beach, California. In November 2018, a few days after his arrest on suspicion of domestic violence, Avenatti's law firm was evicted from those same offices. So we got a lot of information here that puts him where he says he was with Avenatti. He explained how the conversation between him and Michael Avenatti initiated in what was said. Avenatti was working a long con against Tully's Coffee and actor Patrick Dempsey. Okay, you guys know Patrick Dempsey? Avenatti Global Baristas, the parent company of the Tully's coffee chain that was founded by Michael Avenatti. I'm going to tell you, I drink a lot of coffee. I wouldn't be drinking Avenatti coffee. Had agreed to never again use Tully's name, but Avenatti was lying. He wanted to use my trademark attorney to take control of Tully Coffee's name and their trademarks. I learned later it was yet another attempt to extort money from Keurig Green Mountain. Saruga's story goes on and then involves Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen. Avenatti shared details of his client Stormy Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, and that she and Michael Cohen were involved in a sexual affair that began in 2006. So this is an absolutely amazing thing. So, during this I'm so glad this guy has come forward with this. Because, Michael Cohen, he basically lives on CNN. He's taken Michael Avenatti's old spot over there. But I've wondered the entire time, how did this BS story begin with Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump? How did she end up getting to Michael Cohen and trying to extort money from him? And then Michael Cohen didn't pay her with Trump money. He took an equity loan or something on his home. Remember this? He used his own money. So now we've got this whistleblower. And I believe this whistleblower, don't you? That Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels were having a sexual relationship since 2006. And this is what I'm thinking happened. I think the one that was shook down was Michael Cohen, more so than Trump. And this is what I mean by this. At that time, Michael Cohen became very famous. He was all over television. He's married. His wife is Ukrainian. Michael Cohen's wife is Ukrainian. And he and his wife, they're married. They got a normal marriage. And he's got this affair going on with this porn star. And she wanted money from Michael Cohen. This is what I think happened. I think she tried to extort money from Michael Cohen. Remember how much he was on TV defending President Trump? Because she was going to go public that she was having an affair with Michael Cohen. And Michael Cohen, this is what I'm guessing happened based on this new information. And she wanted money. And Michael Cohen didn't want his affair with Stormy Daniels to come public. If this is true, this is how I think it went down. Because he thought he was going to be working at the White House. He had a big job on the campaign. Trump's going to be president. So he agreed to pay her. He took this money of his own, this equity line or whatever he did, and to explain it to his wife, he said he did it for Trump. He laid it on Trump to protect himself from his wife. And that's how this whole thing began. It's a pretty simple explanation. So just to sum it up, there's a new whistleblower in the Stormy Daniels case. He says that that Avenatti told him all this, that Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels had been having an affair since 2006, which is new. That is completely new. I've not heard anyone talk about that, suggest that, or report that. Have you? This first time I heard this was this morning when I found this story. So Stormy Daniels was extorting Michael Cohen. He paid out of his own money, and so that his wife wouldn't leave him, he says, "I'm doing this for Trump." That's how it happened. I'd love to get Michael Cohen on the stand and ask him these questions under oath, wouldn't you? And you know what? That may happen with this case moving forward, with this creep judge in that case. Pretty big story. And you're not going to see this on the mainstream media because it doesn't fit their narrative. They don't want you to know about this story. But I think it'll make it in some of the conservative press today. You probably heard it first here. All right, we'll take our last break of the second hour and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on.
All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning. Great. What do you have for us this morning?
Well, many of us may have done our estate planning in the past, and we have somewhere in a drawer a bunch of those little envelopes with the will folded up in it and the power of attorney folded up in another envelope, and then the healthcare documents, or you may even have a binder, kind of like what we provide our clients. An old binder that you may have stuffed a whole bunch of other things in there. You may have pulled some of the documents out, and some of it's missing, and some of it's there. You may have written on it. You may not even know where your binder is. And then the other issue is, well, when's the last time you dusted it off and looked at it or had an attorney look at it? Maybe the information in there is obsolete. Maybe the person you named as trustee is no longer living, is no longer around, no longer in your good graces, or vice versa, and so they may not be the right choice. Also, what if the beneficiary you named is no longer somebody that you would want to leave things to? An ex-spouse, an ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it might be. You could end up not having your wishes be correct. And of course, how will you know if the actual legalese in it, the legal part of it, is correct? Or how much faith do you have in who wrote it years and years ago? And was it done here in Florida? There's so many factors, and that's why it's so important to make sure that it gets reviewed. And we recommend it get reviewed every 3 to 5 years. And we do, for our own clients, we do a review every 3 years. And we will offer your listeners who are not yet clients a free review of their current estate plan. So they'll know where they stand and what they have.
Yeah, in fact, that's how we met Attorney Barry Siegel. Is Steve had a trust done many years ago and just put it away and thought he was set for life. And you reviewed it and found a whole bunch of things that really made it a trust in name only, because divorces, remarriage, grandchildren were born that weren't there before. Steve's trustee was dead, had passed away. There was no trustee. I mean, there was just a mess of problems that his family would have been dealing with. And you don't have to do that because these reviews are at no charge with the Siegel Law Group, okay? So it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group. If you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio here, the number, and no matter where you are in the state of Florida, the Siegel Law Group can help you. Their number, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel will finish out the week tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be right back.
Warriors for breakfast now.
All right, are we back? We're back. Okay, all right. I don't know. I'm confused. It's live. Every once in a while, we want you to know it's live. What better way to do that? Okay, so this Stormy Daniels story is beautiful. You know, President Trump has had the winningest week. I'm not sure how to say it. The winningest. No, that's not even a word. What word am I trying to think of? He's had nothing but wins all week long, right? He's made billions of dollars. Oh, yeah, I forgot. The new Trump Media Corporation, we were talking about this yesterday, you know, because I bought Trump stock. I know many of you bought Trump stock. The new Trump Media company that just went public is worth more than the New York Times now. Isn't that something? New York Times is like 120 years old or something, 170 years old. And just in a day, 2 days, it's worth more than the New York Times. Pretty amazing thing. President Trump has made billions of dollars just this week. And then this news story with Stormy Daniels. So, I don't think it's I really don't think it's a coincidence that all these things have happened during Holy Week. You know, if you start at Monday, I want you to just go through the week of winning this week with Trump. This is the week of winning. Monday, we wake up Monday, Trump owes $500 million in this bond. He's got the cash, but it's all his cash. He goes into court, he comes out, and what happens? He got the bond reduced by 60%. 140-some million, he's got that, that's taken care of. That same day, he makes $1 billion in a deal. That was Monday. Made $1 billion. The same day, same afternoon, that he got the bond reduced by 60%. Tuesday, the company goes public, DJT, I buy Trump stock, you guys buy Trump stock, people buying Trump stock. He made $6 billion on Tuesday. By the way, that's on top of the $1 billion he made on Monday. So by Tuesday, he made $7 billion in those 2 days. Yesterday's Wednesday, and the valuation of Trump media comes out. It's worth more than the New York Times. This morning, we find out that Michael Cohen, according to this new whistleblower, allegedly, had an affair with Stormy Daniels going back to 2006, which shows that they put this whole thing together. Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels, and Michael Avenatti, and they came up with blaming Trump so he could explain it to his wife. I stick by that. And it's only Thursday morning now. We have all day today and tomorrow. Winningness? I can't even say the word. I know the word I'm trying to say, but I can't say it. You know how it is? You know the word, you can't pronounce it because you've said it so many times. But this has just been a week of winning like no one's ever done before. And when you really and it's only Thursday morning, all day today and tomorrow. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing? This is Maria from Florida.
Hey, Maria.
Hey, how you doing? I'm not feeling the best this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's wrong? What's wrong?
I had to have surgery yesterday. Had to go, and it's a woman thing, and it had me.
A woman thing? What? Oh.
Yeah. So
that means don't ask. It's personal. You don't.
Yeah, it's personal. But yes, I was looking at that, and our president, he had a lot of wins this week, and they still tried to tear him down, and they couldn't. Now this whistleblower, I just got the news like late last night because I have been taking medication trying to get my throat back right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when I heard this news last night, I was stunned. I said,
you're talking about the Michael Cohen long-term affair with Stormy Daniels? It explains everything.
Yeah. It's just because it's amazing to me. I didn't even know that he was stealing money from my great president.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that. I was like, wow. So what needs to happen here? I don't know if this whistleblower gonna come forward. I hope he do. I hope he do.
Well, what I would do is I'd get him under oath in this court case and start asking him these things, and I'd hire those ex-Israeli Mossad guys that have that private investigation firm that Harvey Weinstein used to hire and investigate the Michael Cohen Stormy Daniels affair. And I don't think it'd be that difficult to track down with those types of investigators. And that would explain everything. So Michael Cohen was the one that they were extorting money from.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, because I was listening to a show that I forgot the guy's name. He said, like Trump, get out the vote for Trump. And he was on there and he had exposed it. And he was like, something's new coming. I was like, what the world is going on? I just turned over and looked at it. And I was amazed that it's coming out now because I said, well, wait a minute now. I knew something was fishy, but I couldn't put my hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just didn't seem right that the former president would go and mess with this lady. And he's telling everybody that he did not have an affair with her.
It makes everything makes perfect sense. And you know, as I said at the beginning of the segment, all these victories of President Trump, which are mountains of victories this week, these the billions, the bond, it cannot be a coincidence that that's happening during Holy Week. There's just too much winning here.
Exactly. And I have been trying, I want to tell you something. So I have been trying to get in touch with the RNC. Finally, I got in touch with them. They team to get out the vote to be a poll watcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to get on my first day of training, which was Tuesday night.
Oh, really?
To get on this.
You did. So you're volunteering as a poll watcher in November for the RNC. That's awesome. What in training? What are the kind of things do they tell you?
Well, they're telling you things that you cannot do, like you can't talk to the people that coming in.
Mm-hmm.
All you can say is hello, how you doing, or good morning, or
Mm-hmm.
you got to be there 8 hours. Well, they say from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. You chair, just follow the rules. And if you see something, bring a tablet or a piece of paper, a tablet or either a pen.
Mm-hmm.
Write down everything you're observing around you. And if they tell you to go in the back room and sit down, you call them, you call the RNC hotline right away and let them know that they'll get on because they have lawyers. They're going to have lawyers on it.
See what happens? Lara Trump's running the RNC now. The Trumps have taken over the RNC, and there's like competence going on.
Yes, I love it. I love it. From just having that training, I have another training, I think, next week. And I think August, another, they having 2 more counts. I think in August, like a primary in August, and I think in June, if I'm not mistaken. And he said that he might need us on hand to be a poll watcher.
Well, and I will tell you, I don't know if they tell you this, but the Democrat poll watchers are often very nasty, and they'll try to intimidate you. So,
In the Democrat county, he already said, everybody that registered as a Republican going in a Republican.
Yeah.
Will be
but there'll still be a Democrat poll watcher there, okay? And they'll try to bully you and do this and this, and make sure you bring a charger for your cell phone so you don't run out of charge, so you can call the RNC if you need to.
Yeah, definitely. That's he mentioned that too, and he just said just be lookout for necessary stuff that might have. You might, like you said, you might have Democrats come in and try to run in front of you, or you there sitting there, or you sitting there, and you see something, just write it on the tablet.
Yep.
Don't put ink pen, but if they get to the point where they are being physical, he said just use your badge number, call the police, use your badge number, have on your clothes, and they will come right away.
Wow, really? That's amazing.
So
this is, I'm so glad you called with this, because before, I've known people that have been poll watchers and all this stuff. I've never heard of anyone talking about detailed training. They've shown up and they tell them where to go. This is the first time I've heard of detailed training like this from people volunteering to be Republican poll watchers. Okay? I'm not talking about Democrat. And the Trumps have been running, Lara Trump's been running the RNC for like a week, 2 weeks, and look at this level of competence already.
And he also said that I speak because I speak to the co-owner of the RNC that called me back yesterday as I was coming home from my procedure, because I had to have a procedure.
Yeah.
And it was very critical, so my voice really wasn't there, and I was wheezing out off and on. But he said to me, also, I want you to be aware that we are doing early voting. Also doing mail-in ballots. Vote early. Do not vote late, because there can be a storm.
Here's the thing about early voting. The Democrat entire get out the vote operation centers around early voting. On election day, we like to vote on election day. I voted early in the primary. I'm going to vote early in the general. If we wait until election day, the Democrats are millions of votes ahead of us already. And to make up those votes on a single day, you might die between that time. People die. You might get a flat. Your kid might be sick. Car doesn't start. And the Trumps are saying, take advantage of early voting. Well, Maria, keep us updated, and I'm glad that you're a Republican poll watcher. Thanks for calling.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, take care. That's some good information. Have any of you heard competence like that from the RNC? No, not until Larry Trump's running the joint. Okay, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number 888-465-2631. Back after this.
WSFS 104.3.
You there, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're off to a great start. We're going to see some showers around. Just about midday, on and off, kind of just spice up. So impact weather. That cold front pushes into some warmer air. 85 the high today, but it cools down really pretty quickly this afternoon, and we're going down to about 60 tonight. I'm WPBF 25 first story meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Turnpike southbound, slow past Lake Worth Road at 95 North. Stop and go from Forest Hill Boulevard past 45th Street. This traffic update is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Why are people saying Hugh Yan?
She called earlier in the week, I think. Yeah. Oh, that she wasn't on the bridge?
No, legit. Required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com. That's traffic. I'm Dory Don.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come celebrate Easter at the restaurant.
Yes.
Their extravagant Easter brunch buffet and on-track family fun fair. Enjoy a delicious buffet with your family. Get your picture taken with the Easter Bunny. And on track, we have a petting zoo, face painting, cornhole, and chip mining. And don't forget, this weekend, come out and watch Wager win on the Florida Derby and Arkansas Derby, two big prep races for the Kentucky Derby. To make your reservations, call 561-683-2222, extension 199.
This sales event will be held at one location only. City Key of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot.
She's the co-chair, but she's really in charge. All right. Callers on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve. Oh, man, great calls today, by the way, for the most part. We've had very good calls today and covered a lot of things. Do you want to go back to the phones? You have somewhere you want to go? All right. Well, let's take some... Okay. Well, we'll take some calls first, and I have some other things we're going to touch on. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
From Deerfield.
Hey, Deerfield.
Hey, guys. How are you today? Just a comment on this MSNBC, NBC fiasco. If I'm, say, David Axelrod or Barack Obama, I'm on the phone today telling these people to shut their damn mouths. The only base that they're solidifying is our base, not their base. They're a bunch of delusional nut jobs. And now they've actually succeeded in making the management team over there look like a bunch of delusional nut jobs, too.
Are you talking about the Ronna McDaniel thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, they're totally gone, Brian. They've gone so far off the deep end that I don't think there's any coming back for them.
Well, and it really shows how out of touch they are with reality, because Ronna McDaniel's hated by MAGA. She was fired by Trump. They have another past RNC chairperson who's been there for years. Michael Steele was hired right out of running the RNC. Yeah, I mean, I know he's a useful idiot, but it's the way they reacted was very strange.
Well, his job is to go around and give speeches for the RNC, and apparently he was charging for those speeches, too, from what I understand, when he was the head there. But to watch them yesterday, they're really, there's something wrong.
Michael Steele, by the way, he's a weird guy. When he was chairman of the RNC, he called and left a voicemail, I think it was Chris Matthews. And this is when he was chairman of the RNC. There was Chris Matthews, I'm pretty sure it was Chris Matthews, went after him on something. So he called and left him a message. And Chris Matthews played the voicemail that Michael Steele left over the television. I remember we played it at the time, and I remember how he left the message. He said, "Chris Matthews, this is Chairman Michael Steele calling." Now, who the hell goes by a title like that? This is Chairman Michael Steele calling? It's very bizarre. Yeah.
Imperial position or something.
Yeah, it sounds like an egomaniac, man. It was so bizarre.
Well, we finally got a RNC leader that's going to do a wonderful job.
Yeah, and for people who say Lara Trump is just the co-chair, she's running the joint, okay? The guy that's the official chairperson he's the secretary handling all the office crap. Lara Trump is there organizing, keeping an eye on everything, and, she is President Trump's Bobby Kennedy right now.
That's an interesting analogy, but I remember you said it a couple of weeks ago. I think you're right, and she's going to be a sensational asset. I have to say one more quick thing. I saw a short video yesterday. A young, very nice black lady was doing a video basically for saying how the black lady, basically telling Trump to hold on, we're coming. She thinks 20 million young black women are going to vote for Trump.
Oh, yeah.
A heartwarming video, and he's got a lot of support in the black community. And I think as long as these morons keep talking on MSNBC, our support's going to continue to grow for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Bunch. They really are.
And the thing about, with MSNBC, the nerve, I mean, could you imagine, there's people that work here at the radio station. Could you imagine if I went on the air and said, how could they hire that guy? You got to get rid of that guy. How dare you? I mean, who do they think they are?
Apparently, they think they make policy over there, and they can discuss it in real time on television. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, it's really just a disgrace. I mean, someone they should have their broadcasting thing banned or something. They look.
And the thing I take away from it is they do not understand. Ronna McDaniel is a never Trumper. MAGA hate her. Trump fired her. Trump was calling her yesterday Ronna Romney, right? She's Romney's niece. And she spent, one of the reasons we won the midterm elections, contrary to what they tell you, but we didn't win as big as we could have for a few reasons. One of them was her. The RNC has been working to lose elections. She, not win them. She probably voted for Biden, Ronna McDaniel, tell you the truth. And they think over at MSNBC that Ronna McDaniel is like part of MAGA, which shows that they don't even understand which way the wind's blowing.
They're totally delusional. And what Trump's doing, he's got all their ducks in a row now, lowering the head of the RNC. and we're off and running.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. Now, there was a poll that came out yesterday that said the number one issue with voters this election cycle is the illegal immigration, the border, even above the economy, which is really tough. And listen to this. This is really a sad story. Pablo Mendoza, he's an illegal alien. He's been charged with this is kids. This is terrible. Pablo Mendoza, he's an illegal alien. He's been charged with raping a mentally incapacitated 14-year-old girl. I mean, this is nuts. WDHN-TV reports the minor teen victim was physically helpless and mentally incapacitated. He's, I mean, this is one of those crimes, Steve, that just doesn't have to happen.
Mentally incapacitated teen. Enterprise police arrested Pablo Mendoza after getting word of a crime happening last month. Sheriff Scott Berg confirmed to WDHN that Mendoza is in the United States illegally. Authorities say that Mendoza had sex with the teen, and the teen could not consent due to her being, quote, physically helpless or mentally incapacitated. Mendoza is charged with the rape in the first degree and is currently being held in the Coffee County Jail without bond.
Oh boy! I mean, so then another illegal alien fatally shot a Grand Rapids, Michigan woman on Friday and dumped her body on the side of the road. Brandon Ortiz, I'm not sure how you pronounce Vite. I don't know. That's his last name. He's got a hyphen there. Was charged with fatally shooting 25-year-old Ruby Garcia and leaving her body on the side of the road. He's an illegal. You know, this poor girl, she's dead. The other girl's raped at 14. I mean, rape is always traumatic for the rest of the life of the victim, but at 14, it's even, you know, you're a child. That's a child. Okay, that's a child at 14. I know these creepy teachers and stuff like to call them young adults. Young adults are what pedos call kids that they're attracted to, okay? This is a child. And, you know, all of these crimes are crimes that are preventable and are being allowed to happen because Joe Biden is bringing murderers and rapists into our country. And that's the reality. Each one of these crimes would never have happened. And what's Biden's response? Well, how many legal people are committing crimes? Oh, okay, I guess that means the illegals are entitled to rape and murder at a rate that's equal to what the legal population do. I mean, that is a real sick man we have as President of the United States. I'm not talking about his cognitive decline. I'm talking about his liberal rationalization. All these people are victimized because of Joe Biden. Now, he can't shut down the border. He's already cashed the checks from China to open it up. So, you know, and the money's probably been spent, so he can't shut it down even if he wanted to. But these crimes, they have to be talked about because President Trump calls it a migrant crime wave. It is, but migrant's such a mild word. It's god awful. It's just god awful. And I was surprised though that was the number one issue above even the economy with voters. Because the economy, that's, people are making choices and struggling and doing without, and but the border, and I guess the border is part of it because in New York City, illegal aliens are being given more money than veterans, right? With their housing allowances and their EBT and everything else. All right, we're going to take our first break of the last hour. Our number 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day to buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way
MyPillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your MyPillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, and all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Come on. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. And I want to remind you guys, if you're in pain, hey, weekend's coming up, right? You want to go see Dr. Appleton. He's my chiropractor. He wants to be your chiropractic physician, too. And his laser wave pain treatment works on so many types of pain, including arthritis, bursitis, bronchial neuralgia, hip pain, knee pain, lumbar pain, herniated discs, muscular contraction, sciatica, strains and sprains, tennis elbow, neck pain, stenosis, so many other kinds of pain too. That is not a complete list. It works on so many kinds of pain. And remember, with the laser wave pain treatment, there are no drugs, no injections, no downtime. It is 100% painless. And Dr. Appleton has rid me of pain 5 times. 5 times. And none of the pains have returned because Dr. Appleton's laser wave pain treatment actually repairs the damage that is causing you the pain. Give him a call. Remember, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. All right, I'm Brian. Steve's here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, Larry. Turn down the volume of the device you're listening to us on.
Sure. Hold on.
Okay, because there is a delay. Okay, what's on your mind, Larry?
I'm a mariner, and so being in the Merchant Marine, I can tell you one thing. I know exactly how that ship crashed into that bridge.
I can still hear I do, but I can still hear myself in the background on the device here.
Okay, I'm turning it off.
That's a good idea. Yes.
All right. I worked in the engine room for many years, okay? And I'm going to tell you this. A ship cannot shut down and by itself. It has to deliberately be shut down.
Well, what do you mean? What if there's an electrical failure, the electricity can't go out?
No, because I'll tell you why. There's a duplication of everything in the engine room. And the reason for that duplication is so that if anything happens, the alternative system comes on, and the people that are operating that operation in the engine room by the chief engineer who is in charge makes it function properly.
So let me. You say you're a mariner. What does that mean? What did you do?
I've been a merchant marine for several years.
Oh, you were a merchant marine. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is right down your alley because this is the kind of ship you'd be on, a freighter.
Exactly. I've been on many freighters and many tankers, okay? And I've done that for a number of years. I've been retired now for a while. You know, I'm living a good life in Tennessee because I work for a United States flagship, a United States Union. It was called Seaford.
All right, well, get back to the... Okay, so you've seen the video of this ship in Baltimore. The power goes out. You're saying that cannot happen?
I'm saying that somebody turned that power out. That's why it was deliberately done.
Wow, and that's your expert analysis.
Yes, and I bet you if you take a look, the registration on that ship is going to be from a terrorist country.
So, one thing, though, that I've talked about this, I don't know anything about ships, okay? All I know is that on our ship, it's free drinks for the whole week are included and all that stuff. I know how to do that, and I know how to have cocktail parties and hang out, and eat. But I don't know anything else. When the power went out on that ship in Baltimore, it still seemed to turn and was aimed directly at that pylon. If all the power is out, can the ship, do you still have rudder control if all the power's out on board from the bridge?
What you do is you turn on the bridge, the captain goes ahead and sets that course on what's called the iron mic. The iron mic is the navigation system that's automatically set up that he sets up, and all he's got to do is then kill everything, and when he kills everything from the helm of the ship, everything shuts down. Everything.
Which, including the rudder.
That's correct.
It looked to me like they steered it. Yeah.
The rudder steers the ship, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know that.
Huge amount of momentum because of its weight that it has.
Mm-hmm.
So that you're not going to stop that ship. It's going to go for a half a mile to a mile before it comes to rest itself. And the reason why there's a duplication of everything on a ship is if there wasn't, then ships would be stranded in the oceans.
I mean, how many ships did you work on throughout your career, would you say?
About 20.
Have you ever seen electricity go out throughout an entire vessel?
No, it doesn't, because it has alternative methods that the engineer on the floor in the engine room can cause the people that are working for him in the engine room to switch over to those alternates. Because if you didn't have that, then there'd be stranded ships in all the oceans.
So this is interesting, and I'm glad you called because you were giving some expert analysis. And I'll tell you, one thing I also find interesting is with this disaster, the cable news is not filled with people like you talking about how ships work and what they can and cannot do.
I'm going to tell you why. I saw a woman that interviewed Donald Trump say the following. I'm going to quote it. She said, she's a very well known on a Sunday morning program. She said, Donald Trump said that he wants to be a dictator. Well, but wait, she didn't finish the sentence. She deliberately left the end of the sentence off. When Donald Trump said that, he said, I want to be a dictator for one day. She left the one day off.
And that it was sarcasm. It was a joke.
Exactly.
So when you back to the ship though, because when you saw, Steve and I are the experts on sarcasm. You're the expert on maritime things. When you I don't need some guy that's got a 40-footer, in Palm Beach. You worked. You worked. When you saw this thing happen in Baltimore, how long after did you say to yourself, this was not an accident?
Immediately, and I'll tell you why. I've been across that bridge dozens and dozens of times. It's moved to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I've been across that because I used to do business in Delaware.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're saying it. Now let me ask you. Okay, you say somebody has to turn it off the power. Is that just one person and one switch, or would it take a number of people to turn out the power on a ship that large?
The skipper, they call him the skipper, or the old man at the helm. He decides what that ship.
Oh, wait, okay. So hold on. The electricity at that level, ship-wide, can be shut off on the bridge, just with one switch.
He's the one who commands it, and then the chief engineer in the engine room has to follow.
Okay. In the engine room, though, like say, let's just say this was a saboteur. Is there typically like one lever that you would pull, or would it take multiple levers and multiple people to turn it off?
Multiple levels.
Okay, so there would have to be what, 5 people, 10 people? How many people would it take to do it?
Okay, 3.
3.
Engineer on the floor in the engine room tells those 3 people or 2 what to do, and they have to do it because they're getting paid by the company, whoever.
Okay, or maybe they're terrorists. I don't know. So you're saying it would take You're saying that it would take a minimum of 2 people in the engine room, maybe 3, to turn off the electricity ship-wide like that. All right.
Yep. And pellet stops, and then the ship just keeps on moving up to a mile, if it's a big one.
That's amazing.
Let me say something about the bridge, okay? The reason why the whole bridge came down instead of just a piece is because I've been over it many times, and I know this metallurgically, all right, because that's part of my understanding in engineering. It's not a welded bridge where metal is welded into metal. It is a riveted bridge.
Oh, because it's old. Yeah.
It will crack.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 plates against them.
Yeah.
The whole thing went down instead of just a piece.
Well, listen, I appreciate your call, and if anything else comes to mind, you call us back. See, we got who needs Google? We got an audience, right? I guess if you don't have an audience, you need Google. But and that guy, one of the things, I know he's retired to Tennessee, but here in Florida, we have most of the retirees in America, and the wealth of knowledge that is within the retiree audience is amazing. And the people that are in our audience have backgrounds that would just blow your mind, because everybody retires to Florida and things like this. And he was from Florida, then to Tennessee. I think he is the only person that has an expertise in that type of work that I've heard give a real detailed breakdown of what is and what is not possible on a ship like that with the power going out and what it takes to do it. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our bottom of the hour break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again.
Great call.
Was that who I think it was?
No.
Does he have the same...
No, that's not him. I know, it's similar, but it's not him.
Similar areas.
Yeah, it's close. They're similar. Yeah, not him. I thought so too at first. Right back.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Okay. All right, we're back after this last commercial. Here we go. All right, phones are ringing. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? Yeah? Yeah.
There's still one thing that's not clear in my mind.
Mm.
After all is said and done with all the reports and everybody doing reruns and all that, I still can't quite figure out if there was foul play.
Well, we don't know. The media are trying to cover it. They don't want you to ask those questions. But our expert retired merchant marineman, he says that it's sabotage.
Did he say that?
That's what he said. He said, yeah, he says he thinks it's terrorism, he said.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. Yeah, he said so. He said so. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian. Is it me?
It sounds like you.
Oh, okay. Thanks. I know. How you doing? I'm Brian. I'm from Boca.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to you months ago.
I'm Brian from Boca, too. I guess we both got the same name.
It's awesome. How you doing, Steve? I got one question. I'm glad you're on this topic.
Can I just, wait, before you go into it, I just want to run by you the last transaction here. Did you hear anything on this airwaves in the last 20 minutes that they thought it was sabotage?
He said it. He said terrorism in the call.
Well, we all got our theories what could have happened. We don't know for sure yet.
So you don't know? You're not sure that it's sabotage?
No, I'm not sure. But I got one question. I watched a lot of cartoons, when I was a kid. Couldn't when they found this problem out, couldn't they just toss the anchor out and try to stop the boat? Nobody thought of the anchor.
In 6 seconds? No, you couldn't do that. That wouldn't work.
I mean, I don't know when they realized that they had no power. Just toss the anchor out. Try to put some kind of brake.
Well, no. What the last caller said, who's a retired merchant marine sailor, and he's got a lot of experience. He was very detailed. He used the word terrorism, deliberate and terrorism, and none of us know because they haven't investigated, but his expert opinion based on what he's seen leads him to believe that, and I think you got to take his.
Well, I listened to him. I heard all this. I heard all these theories.
Did you hear the guy say the word terrorism?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did hear that. Of course.
And he said he wouldn't. He said he would not expect. He would expect the ship to be registered in a Muslim country. I don't know about that, but he did use the word terrorism. He said it twice.
It's very suspicious, you know. It's very suspicious. I heard this boat. Like they could tell they were blowing black smoke. They had no power or something. I don't know. Toss out the anchor. That's all.
All right, you've watched too many cartoons. All right, too many cartoons. But a good call. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hey, Joellen.
So maybe the caller could call back, but that other guy, if it's a cyber attack, I mean, is that something different that could really knock out the?
He said he said that it is impossible for anything to knock out the electricity ship-wide unless it is physically done in the engine room. And it takes a minimum of 2 people to do it. Minimum of 2, depending on the ship. Yeah.
Right. Also, last night I heard
and the reason, by the way, he said that is there's backups, redundancies, so that doesn't happen. And for the redundancies not to kick in, and there are multiple redundancies, he said it would have to be somebody physically in the engineering room turning off the power.
Yeah, it's just so weird that that it happened like that, and the consequences of what's happened. But the other thing I was calling about was I heard on talk radio last night that Kevin McCarthy is backing this woman in South Carolina to run against Nancy Mace. He's spending millions of dollars on her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Trump has backed Nancy Mace.
You know, Kevin McCarthy, I've seen him at Trump rallies since he's left Congress. I still don't trust him, but...
Yeah, I thought I heard that he was being considered on a long list, and I don't know who said it, as the vice president. Now, as soon as I heard that...
President Trump has never come out with a list. Everybody in the news keeps talking... You know, they keep saying things, and but there's been no official list.
Oh, my God, no way. So, all right.
All right, take care. Joe Ellen, good call, great call. All right. Oh, no, she had one more thing. No. That's the key. When somebody says one more thing, that's when you got to hang up. That's what it is, yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Ivy in Broward. Hi, Steve.
Ivy,
Hi,
how are
Brian.
you doing?
Yeah, like I was saying, about this ship and the economy, Brian. I know you don't like to talk economics. See, that's part of my background. And what I'm saying is that what they're doing here is trying to cause more bleed to the dollar is why this is happening, because, like I say, this is a very important vein when it comes to our economics and so forth. And as you always say, Brian, China wants to be the new global currency. So the things must happen, and things are in play in different ways for that to happen. So when you see Moody's and Fitch degrade the U.S. dollar as if it's a credit rating like a normal person, then that's going to make our dollar pretty weak, and this is not good for our economy. This is another way of attacking our dollar and our economic system.
Mm.
And as for Joy Reid, I mean, she's so disgraceful. Me as a black person, I can't stand to see black women walking around in those blonde wigs. It looks so ridiculous. Not only that she's culturally appropriating, but she wants to be like Rachel Maddow. If you listen to her and listen to Rachel Maddow, they have the same exact.
Well, that blonde wig that Joy Reid wears, I call it a Trump wig, and I think she wants to have that Trump hair. I think it's some weird, sick thing she's doing.
It's really monotonous. Someone who supposedly doesn't like white people, who went to school, Harvard, around all white people, who works around all white people, who's been given money and fortune and fame from white people. It doesn't make any sense. So obviously she's paid to say what she says, but maybe there's a little bit of a personal self-hatred and, that she is where she is and she has to...
No. She's an operative. The mainstream media, of which MSNBC is a part of, are part of the deep state. And her job is to stir up racial hatred against white people by blacks. So that's what she does. That's the purpose of her show is to turn blacks against whites and make whites angry at blacks. That's her job description.
She's just a modern day Al Sharpton in a female persona. And I'm glad Mary from Florida called. And nice to hear that you're okay, Mary.
All right, take care, IB. Appreciate the call. Okay. Oh, I let him go. I was moving on. Yeah, you can ask the question. We got a full board. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Vince in Wilmington. How's it going?
All right, Vince.
Right. I was just commenting on the boat situation. My father was a merchant marine as well, and I've been on many boats, from aircraft carriers to tugboats. And there is always a pilot ship with a ship that big. There is always a tugboat in line with a ship that big. With that many containers overloaded like that, going through one of our main ports, there's no way that they would have that boat without a leading boat.
Especially in the dark.
Especially in the dark, especially in the middle of the night. They're covering this up.
On our cruise ship, when we take our cruises, they bring the pilot on board. When we go into port, I watch it sometimes. Little boat comes up aside, and the pilot gets off, and they take over on the bridge.
Right. And see, when there's a tugboat involved, they always have two. There'll be one in the front and one in the back on a big boat. You know what I mean? It just depends on what the situation is. So they have an extra pair of eyes. Even if it's a pilot boat, they'll use those sometimes as well. But I haven't been on a boat in 20 years, so I can't really comment to the effect of what the pilot...
From all the feedback you've been getting, listening to the various shows
from everybody
in the 2 days, are you hearing that there's people are saying that this is sabotage?
There's consensus online, but whenever I hear...
A lot of people are saying it. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been talking about it. A lot of people are saying it, yeah. The media aren't. The media are nothing to see here, a complete accident, no investigation, but an accident.
So whenever I hear the media come out and run out and all have the same thing to say...
And I'll tell you, one thing I find very suspicious, I haven't seen any stories on the pilot or the captain. And when they don't, like when that Bernie Sanders supporter tried to kill the Republican baseball team and shot Steve Scalise, they didn't tell you his name either. I mean, you could Google it. The fact that we're not hearing about the captain and the pilot and know who they are and all this stuff, that's more red flags.
All right, so what I heard online, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently Mitch McConnell's family is involved with the ship.
I'm not 100% sure that's true. I know I'm hearing that. That's not been confirmed. I wouldn't, the dead sister of the what? Yeah, I know. All right, hey, listen, we got to run. Thanks for the call. We're going to take our break and be back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered.
All right, and you guys are going to get the professional gold and precious metals report today from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the morning gold and precious metals report. William Youngerman, how the metals look today?
The metals look great, Brian. The rally continues from yesterday, extending itself into all new record highs this morning for gold. And yesterday we saw gold close up $15.70 at $2,194.20. Silver gained 20 cents at $24.59. Platinum lost $4 at $8.96, and palladium was down $4 at $9.72. As I said, the market continues its rally this morning, getting up to $2,212 at one point. Right now we're at $22.0770. That's up $13.50. Silver's down 6 cents right now at $24.53. Platinum up $2 at $8.98, and palladium up $14 at $9.
Wow!
So the metals are doing very good, and this market wants to go higher. $17 this morning.
What is, because we've been breaking records so often, I've lost track. What because we just hit it the other day. What's the all-time high record high for gold now?
That's this morning, 22.
we hit the record. Oh my goodness. Really, to this morning, the record in the 5,000-year history of gold, this morning we hit the record high.
Yeah, when you account for inflation over the years, then gold's still very cheap. At least in this country, it is. We've got to see this as something that is got potential to go much higher.
Oh yeah.
We can just start taking advantage of it, what I consider still to be very low prices for the precious metals, and start continuing to accumulate.
Absolutely. Well, what now? This is amazing. What's going on with gold? What? When people come in and they're buying gold right now, are they just buying gold in general, or are they coming in asking for specific things? What are people looking to pick up?
It's pretty much a mix. People have their favorites. Some people come in and they buy the Australia First Mint 1 ounce gold roos. Some people prefer gold bars. A lot of people just love the U.S. Gold Eagles, especially at the new reduced premiums that they've come back down to normal. And the 1 ounce gold buffaloes are very popular also. That's the pure gold coin that the United States makes.
Oh yeah, those are beautiful coins. The American Gold Buffalo is a beautiful coin, and it shines. It's very shiny too. Now the other day I had.
Eagles are also starting to creep up in premiums. So
really,
thinking about buying some silver eagles, the bargains may be not here for much longer as demand is starting to take away some of that supply that we accumulated there, and premiums are starting to edge up on the silver eagles.
But silver eagles are a buy recommendation today on the silver eagles.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Okay, now, and I know a lot, you Silver Eagle guys, you know exactly what William Youngerman's talking about. This is how they were a while ago. This is the time. All right, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. His address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can give him a call toll-free, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And if you missed the number of the address, just go to his website. They're both there, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman will finish out the week tomorrow. All right, well, we lost. Okay, we'll be right back. All righty, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Our phones are quite busy. And before we go back to the calls, I want to tell people, Steve, about William Youngerman. There's something really amazing going on in regards to William Youngerman and the type of work he does, which, of course, he's a contractor, but we talk about roofing. And the My Safe Florida Home Program is going to be extended to condominium associations within a few miles from the ocean, okay, which is basically, that to me, we're all a few miles from the ocean in Florida, but they're extending how far from the ocean that this benefit will apply to, and you can get up to $150,000 from the state for a new roof. Applications open up July 1st for homeowners, and applications will be accepted and prioritized in an order which I'm going to go through later at another time, but this is a great benefit to you. Now, if you have a homeowners association, this extension, but if you are own your home outright, like you like a single family home, it's not part of a condo association, this also can apply to you. Give Tom Laporta a call. He covers the entire state of Florida. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, LaportaContracting.com. If you have any questions on these programs, I'm sure Tom Laporta can help you out with that, all right, with some information and point you in the right direction. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Hey, guys. Brian, this whole, there's no terrorism thing, okay? If somebody...
Oh, there's no terrorism. Yeah, that reminds me, Steve, that reminds me of Neil Rogers. There's no gays in the church.
But I hate to say this, but I mean, I'm getting the same, I'm listening carefully for specifics, and I seem lost here.
Well, no, okay.
Yes.
You hear a lot of your callers. I'm reading the internet. I mean, the fact checks on the internet are unbelievable.
Fact checks. Fact checks is liberal disinformation.
I just said.
Hold on, Tom. Slow down for a second. Hey, listen. Slow down. The show's not over yet. I know some people think with you on the line, it must be. It's going downhill quick. But no, we're still here. The caller we got earlier in the hour is a retired career merchant marine sailor. Well, then you missed the call, Steve. Then you missed the call because the whole call was about sabotage and terrorism. And he gave his expert analysis, and he used the word terrorism twice in that call. He is an expert seaman. Are you?
Did you get his credentials, or he just said you?
Get his credentials. I asked him a lot of questions that only someone in that position would. I asked him a series of questions. I didn't make a big deal about it to establish he knows what he's talking about with ships, but I'm sure you do. Where is the frontal torsal of a ship?
The procedure.
Excuse me. You know about shipping. Could you tell me when I go on our cruise ship and I'm looking for the frontal torsal, where would I find that?
The starboard?
The starboard, I just made that up. There's no such thing as a frontal torsal. I just made that up, and you're telling me where it is? And you know more about shipping than that guy? When I questioned him, he had answers. Aren't you embarrassed? Oh, now you're going to tell me where the part of the ship that I just made up is again?
To say something, if you give me 1 second.
Oh, you've said a lot.
You ready? How are you going to drop an anchor that?
I didn't say anything about dropping an anchor. Now you're just diverting. Oh my goodness.
Drop it. If you drop an anchor that close to a bridge, the weight of that ship, that anchor dropping is not.
Okay. All right. Nobody's talking about that. He's just trying to divert from his embarrassing lie. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Brian and Steve. It's Berta from Texas. That's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. The frontal torsal. He told me it was where it was. Isn't that great?
What you got me? I don't know about both. So what would be the frontal torsal?
I just made that up. I don't. There's no such term. I just made it up. I had a hard time coming up with the second part, torsal. I was searching for a fake word, and I didn't even pull it off very well. And yes.
Hey, Brian, I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed because I heard Steve, the people in Congress that I love, think that it was sabotage. Then I'm looking at the video repeatedly saying, how can it be sabotage? But I found out the owner of the ship in the shipyard is Cho.
I have heard that. I have not. Okay, but I've not seen it confirmed. Mitch McConnell's sister-in-law, who died recently in a very bizarre Tesla accident. They're saying that the company she was an executive with owns the ship. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true.
Okay, because it's
I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying I've seen that all over social media, and you got to be careful. Like right now, they're showing social media is filled with a bridge in Europe that was hit by a ship, and they're saying that it happened yesterday. That happened like a few years ago. So when these things happen, you can't just be. If you see it on social media, you got to verify. That story about McConnell's sister-in-law may be true, but I've not seen it confirmed.
The sister-in-law is true, but I was like suspicious about it, and my husband says, Berta, you think overthinking it? It was just a pure accident in a Tesla. She backed up by accident because the thing is on where the blinker is.
Mm.
The reverse or the driving. She got confused and she backed herself in a pond. And I was like, okay. But then at the same time, with all this happening and all the people that I trust in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these people saying there was a sabotage. So I'm like,
Well, see, what's happened here, the reason that this started, the sabotage talk, is that it happened at 3 a.m, and immediately before the sun came up, the entire media had declared it an accident. How can you declare something an accident without even an interview with someone? And the media were so quick, and no one trusts the media anymore. So immediately people are saying it's got to be the media is trying to close this down too quick. And here we are days later. We haven't seen a story on the captain or the pilot, and it's very bizarre. I'm not saying that it was. I'm not saying that it was an terrorism. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that there's a possibility of it, and the government and the media don't want anybody to ask the question.
Do you think they're going to do like a Ron DeSantis and build the bridge right away? Because now at the same time, there's trucks that can't make it over the bridge to deliver product.
No, it's a much different type of bridge than what DeSantis built to that island, But they are talking about naming it George Floyd Bridge from Francis Scott Key, though. That's true. I'm not. It's crazy. I know.
Another call.
Okay, another call. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Maria from West Palm. I believe it's sabotage. And my question is, do you really believe the government would even tell you if it was?
Not this government. No.
No, they're not. So, how do you even trust anything that anybody is saying?
Yeah.
Because they want to hide it. They want to hide it all for whatever reason.
When we had our retired merchant marine call in, I said this to him. This is very unusual. Typically, when there's an accident like this, the media are filled with nonstop interviews with experts, retired merchant marine captains and such, who talk about these things. People that have piloted ships through the port. I haven't seen any of that. Okay, in the media, they're not bringing experts on in that field for interviews, and I find that very strange.
The only thing that we've seen is Biden saying that he's going to pay for the bridge.
Well,
hold on 1 second. Sometimes, there's an old saying that I'm quite fond of.
A banana is just a banana.
Sometimes a banana is just a banana, all right? What you're leaving out here is this thing happened in the middle of the night, 1:30 in the morning. Expect the on-the-spot coverage to be quite as accurate as if it happened.
Well, it's 3 days later, and they're still with the same line.
Yes, I'm telling you, that what's coming through to me, and I'm trying to sort through the BS, what's coming through to me is they don't have anything really specific. I'm not hearing...
But
they haven't figured out what the frontal torso is yet.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that was good. I know, that was good. That was not even... that was good. Yeah, I've done that with callers before. I don't want to give other examples because I don't want to tip it off. But I did it to the caller... the retired merchant marine. I just wasn't so obvious about it when I was talking to that clown. Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Yes.
Jersey.
It was not. It was not Jersey Mike. See what I'm telling you with these guys? I know it sounded like Jersey Mike, but it was not. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Steve. I'm calling from Indiana.
All right. We're almost out of time.
Yeah, good. I'm just going to put a quick question on you, and you may know, did they name the ship that hit the bridge? And I know it was registered in Singapore.
Yes.
Say the name.
If they did, I've missed it, but we should know the name. The name should be imprinted in our brains when there's an accident like this.
Yeah, they showed the bow of it. The name is the Dolly. D-U-L-I.
Okay. Okay. And the significance, we'll have to find out tomorrow because we're out of time. Remember, tomorrow's Friday. That means open phones. I'm Brian, Steve Kane here. See you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1.
All right, guys. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everybody else, like the video. All right? Hold on. There you go, guys.